Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the brand new actor, episode 3, entitled Shop Your Market, in which we are going to delve into various acting markets and decide which is best for you. What is the acting market? What exactly am I referring to? So, if you tuned into episode 1, I talked a bit about acting markets, but today we're going to delve deeper. The acting market, which is a singular acting market, is the job market itself of acting. The various acting markets, plural, refers to the different fields of acting jobs. In broader terms, we can say there's on stage and there's on camera acting, just to keep it in broader terms. Then we can get a little more specific and say within on-stage performances, there is theater, musical theater, children's entertainment. We can go beyond and beyond. But specifically, there's theater and there's musical theater. Then for on-camera acting, we have film, TV, and commercial. These are specific niches of acting. So how does one decide as an actor which acting market is right for them? So, step 1, determine what is your acting style. What is your acting style, actor? Are you the type of actor that's just very big, bigger than life? Everything is so big. Like your emotions, your physical gestures, everything, your intentions. Like, do you just scream a theater actor? Do you? Or are you just not that big? You're just really raw with your intentions and dynamics, and you just lure people in with your choices. Are you very specific with your movement? Is it very precise? Are you just screaming film actor? Some people, stylistically as actors, possess this on-camera aura versus this on-stage aura as an actor. It just shows, and you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know your specific style yet, I suggest you just try it out. Go do a lot of live theater, go do film, and see which best suits you. Step number 2, pick one acting market that you're passionate about. And I get it. There are some people that are great on film, on camera, and they're good on stage. They can do it both. But which one are you more passionate about? Like, which one calls to you more? Pick an acting market that you're passionate about. And I can't just stress this enough. By picking one that you're passionate about, you will probably do a lot better than you think. And I get it. Everyone wants to do everything. I get it. And I'm not saying you can't. But if you fully dedicate yourself to pursuing one acting market at a time, you're going to yield better results. Let's think about it this way. So I graduated in a BFA musical theater program. And this is an observation or a reference that we can use in which you're a musical theater actor and you have the pressure of trying to be this triple threat that dominates all 3 disciplines. You want to be the best singer, the best dancer, and the best actor all at the same time. But most of the time, what we see is that musical theater actors are stronger at least in one discipline than the other, right? Usually we see the musical theater actor that's more of the dancer and one that's more the singer. It's normal. It's typical. But over time, they do acquire more skill in that other discipline that they're supposedly weaker in over time. So in the same way, the actor that wants to work in all acting markets needs to focus on excelling in one acting market at a time, one discipline at a time. Why? Because each market requires your time, your effort, your money, networking skills, building relationships. Overall, it just requires a lot of effort. And from personal experience, I can attest this is true. Personally, the acting market that I have been passionately pursuing since 2021 when I graduated is theater. I live, love, breathe theater. That's just me. That's just me. I can do film, on camera stuff, but I'm really, really passionate about theater and the process of theater. I love it. So 3 years later, being someone that pursues theater primarily, I feel like I have a better grasp now of the theater job market in Miami. I feel like I have familiarized with all the theater companies and their artistic directors, and I have seen the trends in auditions. I know the seasons auditions for certain companies, and others do project-based auditions. So these are certain things that I've been able to see over time, right? And this has given me the confidence to consider myself a professional working actor in the theater market. And so now that I'm more comfortable, I feel like I can take the time to pursue other markets of acting, like commercial and film. And I have to admit, I did graduate pursuing, theater primarily, but I did get myself an agent since 2022. And I landed my first commercial, which happened to be a SAG commercial in the summer. And I have to admit, I have not done a commercial with my agent since then. Everything else after that, I've gotten myself. And that's not to crap on my agent at all. It's just you need to have the time to dedicate to this acting market, because I've been too busy, and I feel like my lack of growth in this acting market has been because I've been too dedicated to theater. And it makes sense, And so recently, because I feel more comfortable in the theater market, I'm pursuing more commercial and film and television. So I got myself another agent in hopes that I can build a better relationship and I can book more often. So as you can see, the point is that if you want to get good footing in your career, just start with one. Just start with one. And eventually move on to the next. And then learn how to balance them out, which I am telling you is the biggest struggle that I have. And I'm learning day by day how to balance them out. And I think it's just really noticing what the different trends are in audition season. Like in Florida, South Florida at least, I have noticed that theater shows happen from like fall time, starting in October, September. So the summer is pretty open, for instance, even though I am on tour right now doing a show. And then just knowing the times of the year in which it's more predominantly theater and when I can pursue my commercial and film stuff wholeheartedly and full force, because I'm not going to be distracted by going to auditions for theater, if that makes sense. Now, let's say you've reflected on your acting style and what you're passionate about in this particular acting market, but you're still not sure. Another factor to consider, which will be our step 3 for today, is considering whether your job market is in a geographical hotspot location. So as an actor, we don't really have the luxury to just live wherever we want. And most certainly, we can't live in rural areas. So we need to live in major cities that are hotspots for our career. Leading me to step number 3. Research if you're in a geographical hotspot location. So, I'm going to help you out just a bit. Typically, geographically speaking, A hotspot for live theater that may come to mind is New York. Duh. I mean, Broadway, off-Broadway, and Chicago may be another hotspot that you think of. A lot for musicals. But where else? If you don't live there, where else? I mean, they're very expensive to live there. So where else can you pursue live theater? You're going to need to do research where you live or would like to live to determine if it's a hotspot for your particular acting market. So I looked into the 2018 Regional Theater Report by Actors Equity. And I was surprised to learn about a lot of hotspots for theater in the United States. And while I am not currently an equity member, and perhaps you aren't either, it may give you a little bit of perspective of the theater acting market climate. Additionally, if you are considering being part of the equity as a member in the near future, it can help you to get a better grasp on whether it's worth it in that geographical area. So, a market leader in the theater industry is actually Central Florida. And it's home to 1,000 equity members and 17 equity work hours. How come? I mean, what's there in Central Florida? Just think about it for a second. What is in Central Florida that attracts live performances year-round? You guessed it, Disney World, duh. There's a bunch of Disney contracts accounting for all those equity members and all those work hours. So would we say this is, though, an accurate reflection of the theater market in Central Florida if it's just Disney World? What about all the other theater organizations or companies? Are there any in Orlando and Central Florida? I don't know. I've never been there. But the equity committee member, chair, actually, Taylor, even said that he was surprised where they landed on the list. But he feels encouraged to reach out to local theaters to provide more work weeks for their members. So that's some good news. So based on this, it seems very promising for an actor pursuing a live performance theater market in Central Florida. These hours are high and they're actually similar to other market leaders like Baltimore and Washington, D.C. And speaking of Washington, D.C., I didn't know it was a theater market hotspot until I visited and I noticed the Ford's Theater, the National Theater. I mean, that's on my bucket list now to perform there. Forget Broadway. I'm like, National Theater? Yeah, I want to work there. And even the performers in the national museums, they were there reenacting like historical scenes. It was amazing. Or even working as part-time tour guides. As for South Florida, they mentioned that it's home to 600 equity members with 5.1 work weeks, which is pretty low in comparison to Central Florida, of course. Living in South Florida, though, from my experience as a non-union actor, remember, I'm not equity, so I would have a different perspective. I would argue that I work a lot more than that. Well, I do. From personal experience, I work a year-round doing children's theater primarily and educational kind of things. And while I see the growth of opportunities in South Florida, there's still a lot of limitations, which reflects the validity of the numbers in this report, especially now. If you're from South Florida, something has currently happened, a turn of events for our 24-25 season. There has been an absolute cut to funding of the state of Florida arts and culture, which was providing a lot of theater companies and organizations the money that they were counting on for their season. So I highly suggest, if you live in South Florida or if you live in any place that is limiting funding in arts and culture, or just has like limiting laws or regulations, please do yourself a favor. Go find out who your representative is. Write them a letter, call them, badger them in a friendly way. Tell them how important it is not only personally for you to seek employment in the field that you studied or would like to pursue, but also tell them how important, look into research and tell them how important the arts is for the economy. So that way they can actually help you, help the state that you're living in to do something about it. We talked about live performances. What about on-camera acting? Where are the hotspots for TV, film, and commercial acting? Sorry to bunch them all up, but they're all bunched up because they're all film camera acting. So typically, what we think of is Los Angeles, hello, Hollywood, duh. But there are other places for on-camera acting. Who knew? LA, though, is the place to be, as we all know, to attain top-notch acting training and make it on the silver screen with numerous film and television productions, including Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction and La La Land, just to name a few. According to the article entitled The 13 Best Cities for Actors on Backstage, published April 2024, we find out that actually Georgia is one of the fastest growing film industries, with Atlanta being the hotspot. Why? Well, there's been massive incentives. Production studios expanding, like Tyler Perry's studio, and there's even an international airport in which it gives easy access for actors to go from Georgia, Atlanta, to go to California. It's a great destination for actors to build their film careers. Some major projects that were filmed there are Hunger Games, Stranger Things, love me some Stranger Things, Vampire Diaries, and The Walking Dead. Some other cities included in this article as hotspots for on-camera work include the following. Austin, Texas. It's one of the top cities for actors. Boston has a light but steady stream due to the positive effects of tax incentives on the film community. Again, I repeat, it is so important that we make an effort to vote and also contact our representatives to help with certain matters that go into the more political part of things in which affect productions going to certain states, certain places, because of the incentives and taxes or any types of regulations that may go against production, right? Charlotte, North Carolina is another one. It has great potential as a small scale film town, but with minimal permitting regulations, and there's a low cost of living. So it's a great place for actors to live for film. There's a small scale of film, but also it's not too expensive to live, which is a bright side for actors. Chicago, it's called the Third Coast for a reason, with big budget filmmakers and TV shows, including The Bear and Shameless. Miami even made the list. The article states that it has an entertainment sales tax exemption, which makes it one of the best cities for film actors and producers. However, because I live here, based on a recent Women in Film event that I attended at Telemundo, they were speaking, some individuals that are involved heavily in the film scene here in Miami, that film was really on a high in Miami back then when they were filming Scarface and The Burn Notice. So they claim that Miami is a very ideal place to film. I mean, we have the perfect weather year round. Well, not right now, apparently it's raining, but you get the gist, it'll be done soon. If you're from Miami, you know what I mean. But anyways, there are certain laws that have been on the verge, and that has made Atlanta, which is our neighbor in Georgia, a little more appealing. But still, the article claims that Miami is a major commercial market with many national ads and music videos on a monthly basis. And I can attest this is true. A lot of the casting auditions that I get from my agent are primarily commercial. It's rarely film or television. I don't even think I've gotten a television audition from my agent, to be honest. Some others. New Orleans. Louisiana's tax incentive helps as well. It's a beautiful location and it's a right to work. Labor laws make it an attractive destination. Toronto, Canada. Woo, also known as Hollywood North. It is a major hub for film and TV with recent record of breaking spending for screen production. I mean, they do a bunch of Hallmark films and so much in Toronto, Canada. Trust me. And so these are geographical locations for both theater and film. Hopefully, these 3 steps will assist you to make an informed decision. So just to recap, step number 1, determine your personal acting style. Are you more on camera type of actor, or are you a onstage performer? Step number 2, pick one you're passionate about, at least for now. Step 3, research to learn about geographical location hotspots. And hopefully, all 3 of these steps will assist you to make a decision of what acting market you want to pursue. Well, this has been episode 3, Shop Your Market, of the Brand New Actor with your host, Deanna Gamboa. For those of you that don't know me, be sure to watch episode 1 and 2 of the Brand New Actor. Follow the Instagram, YouTube. You can also stream it on Spotify. Be sure to follow all platforms to be informed of the next episode. And just a disclaimer for the people that have been already tuning in, I will be doing once a month an episode. And originally I had every 2 weeks planned to provide an episode 2 times a month, but I am a working actor and it can be a little overwhelming. So we're gonna do once a month, 1 Sunday a month. And I hope you enjoy each and every episode. Feel free to contact me through a direct message on Instagram, and I would love to answer any questions or concerns that you have, and any suggestions even of what you want to see. Thank you so much.